Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join three Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelli, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers! Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I'm getting a sty in my eye, which is why I'm wearing my glasses. So
That's never good.
it's not fun.
No.
I'm drinking a lot of tea so I could put the bags on my eyes. I drink a lot of tea anyway. I have like one, maybe 2 cups of coffee in the morning, and then I switch to tea. But yeah, so that's all I got.
We got to do what we got to do, right?
Yeah, I'm just, I'm trying to get to Saturday. I'm trying to be able to wear makeup for Saturday. So we'll see.
I'm going to have my fingers crossed for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So we wanted to jump on here and talk a little bit about Summerhouse and Southern Charm and the Craig and Paige of it all.
Mm-hmm.
So you have some...
So, we've been talking a little bit here and there, like at the end of our other episodes. And, after watching the Southern Charm, and I don't even think they've touched on everything they're going to touch on with Craig and Paige, but
Right.
I just wrote a couple of things down, like Craig was in possession. Oh, this was, okay. First of all, let me just say the Watch What Happens Live with Shep, Craig, and Austin.
Yes.
That is by far one of my top 3 Watch What Happens Lives ever.
I agree. It was a good one.
They were so good. And I love that they're all jackasses. They're all Peter Pans. Well, I think Craig was coming out of his Peter Pan era, but anyway.
He's still a Peter Pan.
I know, but they were so good together.
They were.
So on that episode, he said he was in possession of the ring that she asked him to design for her because he was in New York bringing it back. Well, I'm sure they were in New York for other reasons too, but he was returning it.
He was in New York for Watch What Happens Live, and he brought it with him to return.
And he asked her when she broke up with him, what do I do with this? And she said, hold on to it. Maybe we'll get married at BravoCon.
Okay. Do you really think that that's what she said? Paige, I do not think that she said that. She is not, let's get engaged on camera. Let's get married at BravoCon. That is not Paige.
I think she probably said it kidding. I don't think it was serious at all. I think she said it like sarcastically. I don't know if she said that, but I do believe that she told him to hold on to it. I really think
Well, she didn't want it. I mean, what was she going to tell him to do? Return it? She didn't want it. So she said, hold on to it. What is she going to say?
Yeah. And I think that she might have been wishy-washy about the breakup. Like not like when, because he had said to Andy the first time he was on Watch What Happens Live, like, we would break up and get back together. He said that to Andy.
Right.
So I think that I don't know how stern she was. And maybe it was to avoid like really hurting him, but I don't know how stern. Listen, I dated somebody for a long time on and off, and that's how our breakups would be, like very wishy-washy because, but
yeah, I'll be honest with you. When Andy asked Craig at the reunion, he said, when you were on Watch What Happens Live, she had already broken up with you. And he said, yes. And
in December.
Yeah. He's like, well, then why weren't you honest? And he goes, well, I guess I didn't really believe it. Like after I left here on Watch What Happens Live, I went to her apartment and she's like, no, like we're done. And he's like, and then all of a sudden my stuff showed up at the house. Yeah. So it's not that she didn't say it. It's that he didn't want to believe it. He didn't want to believe it. Right.
Especially if they had a history of breaking up and getting back together. We never knew that. But if that was their history, then.
Right. I mean, listen, I think people are giving Paige a lot of people love Craig. I like Craig. I like the new Craig. I did not like the old Craig. I like the new Craig.
For sure.
I like Paige. I don't think, and I've always said this, I don't think that they're great for each other. I mean, yes, the fairy tale, yes, but they don't really work. She is a city girl. She's a city girl. That's who she is. He's from Charleston. He really wants to live in Charleston. Yes, he said he would move up there, but she even said and then you're going to resent, you're going to
I don't think he would stay in New York I think if he moved up here, they would have had to move to Jersey or something. No, like where Kyle and Amanda, if they wind up staying together, well, they'll probably.
I don't think that's going to last either. I don't see that.
I don't know.
I don't
But
see that working. I don't,
so
because, he's another one. He is not in reality. He's not in reality.
no, and somebody said, so I don't know if this was on one of our posts or if I commented on something and they replied to me, but no, I think it was on our post about Kyle. How about the lack of support from Kyle to Amanda? Because to me on Summerhouse, they're painting Craig out to be a complete asshole, and I don't like it. And then I said, you're absolutely right. Kyle literally had a temper tantrum, nervous breakdown on the brink of when Amanda told him that she didn't want to work for Loverboy anymore. She wanted to do something creative for herself. He's crying. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
That's not supporting your wife.
No, that's why Paige and Sierra in Old Navy had the conversation with her, like, what are you going to do for you? And now all of a sudden she's doing her. She's doing her bathing suit line.
Right. Thank God. Thank God she's not stupid enough to, I mean, I'm sure she's still working for Loverboy, but that's, she has an invested interest, obviously.
Right. But still, do what you love. Do what you're passionate about. And that's what Paige was doing.
Right. You know what I find interesting? At that dinner where Kyle called Paige two-faced, when they were talking about what's the initial investment in Loverboy, and he said 25,000, and Carl was like, yeah, like, so I guess Carl had invested 25,000, and good for him. But what's interesting to me is that Craig was getting a deal from another beverage. Like, basically they were going to pay him to promote their drink.
Right.
So Kyle wanted him to give that up and give him $25,000 to invest in Loverboy. That doesn't even make sense, right?
No, it doesn't make sense. But that's how Kyle led us to believe it when he was on Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah.
He said that he didn't say like it was a brand deal. He said that he was partnering with.
Yes.
And he approached me about, partnering with Loverboy. And I didn't really want to do that. I wasn't interested in bringing on other partners. Okay. So then what, he's getting a brand deal.
Exactly.
Who cares? Who cares? Like, Kyle was acting like a child, like he does. He acts like a child.
He really does.
Like, he was absolutely wrong in that whole situation.
Yeah.
Even when he kept pushing it, like, let's have the conversation now. Let's have the conversation now. No, he doesn't want to have the conversation now. Just wait till the next day.
I agree with you 100%. Somebody brought this up on one of our posts, and I didn't realize it, but they said, how come Craig can do that at Summerhouse? Say, no, not tonight. We'll talk about it tomorrow. But on his show in the Bahamas, JT didn't want to have a conversation that first night at dinner. And I guess I didn't remember this. Craig pushed him to do it.
Right.
And he said, that's what we do. We're on TV. We have to have these conversations.
Right.
And I didn't realize that. But once they said it, I was like, oh, you're right.
Listen, that's what these people do.
They're total hypocrites.
On Southern Charm, it's Craig's show. Like,
yes.
On Summerhouse, it's not. So, of course, he's going to want to do it his way when he's not on his own home turf, right?
Right. Yes.
I mean, it's just a pissing match, to be quite honest with you.
It's like the stupidest fight in Bravo history, possibly.
I mean, probably. It probably is. Right. It is.
So Paige said she asked Craig why he doesn't bring up his concerns about their relationship on camera. Why didn't she bring it up to him on camera? Why did she go in the bedroom with Sierra and start talking about him? And he's downstairs like, where's my girlfriend? And she's upstairs basically
When did she say, why doesn't he bring it up on camera?
She said to Sierra in the bedroom, I asked him, why don't you bring these concerns up on camera? And he was like, because that's going to make me look like an unsupportive boyfriend. So I think what she's trying to do is make it seem like he was not being, well, obviously, because Sierra calls him a hater.
Yeah, but like, he also he wasn't supporting her.
Well, according to them, that's what they're trying to say. But he didn't want to make it look like that on camera, I guess.
Yeah, but she also said that he said to her, because she's a lot busier than he was, because she had the whole tour, and he didn't want that on camera either. He didn't want it to look like he wasn't working as hard as she was. Well, that's what the facts are. I mean, the facts are the facts.
I know. I mean, we also have to consider that these people have huge egos, every single one of them.
Yeah.
So I could see that. I feel like Paige kind of is learning how to be a Bravo celebrity. Like, I think, like, you know how some housewives join shows and they know exactly what to do, like the formula's down. And then, I don't know, I just feel like I felt bad for Craig when she was in that bedroom talking to Sierra, and Sierra was calling him a hater. And I don't know. I just think that if you're truly in love with somebody and want to be in a relationship with them, you wouldn't do that to them on camera. I think it's very clear that she was checked out last summer.
Yeah. Oh,
And she should have
definitely.
broken up with him then. I don't know why it took to November. Did she break up with him after the tour or before she went on tour?
I think she was in the midst of the tour. She
She
was
was
in the
in the
midst of
middle
the
of the
tour
tour.
because he was in Toronto. He was about to go on a live with Austin. He was in Toronto.
I thought that was pretty shitty too, that she did it right before he was going on to a live appearance.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I agree. That was
Listen,
not good timing.
I'm not on either side. Like, I feel bad that they broke up. I think it's obviously for the best, though, because they both seem to have moved on and they're very happy. Well, she's not really come out and said she's moved on, but he has.
Well, he did on Watch What Happens Live, and she was apparently there, and now we know who she is, and that they had dated before. They dated back in 2019, so...
I did read that he broke up with her to be with Paige. Did you read that?
No, I read that they had a big fight in the Bahamas, and he left. And in 2019, listen, that is when he was at his worst.
He was.
And there was somebody that posted online that there was a conversation that he was having in an older season on Southern Charm about someone named Natalie, and it was his girlfriend at the time, and he was like totally inebriated when he was talking about her. So that's
when
who
it was on Winter House. It was when he met Paige on Winter House.
Okay, that could be. That yeah. So he was,
I mean, I could be wrong. I'm almost positive.
That's very possible. And that's the whole point, is like, that's who he was. He was this, frat boy. He was a frat boy.
Yeah. And actually, because that was probably right before COVID, and during COVID, he and Austin started their podcast, and they were, their YouTube. They did something. They were on camera and they were a mess. They were a drunken mess.
Yeah.
That was during COVID. Actually,
so listen,
I wish I watched it. I didn't know about it until way after.
This is what I'm saying. He's already admitted that she made him a better version of him. We all see that. He's a better version of Craig, right? He will be fine. She will be fine.
Yes.
Let them be. Let's just move on. There's so many other things to talk about, right?
Yeah. And I like that Southern Charm cast hasn't made any negative remarks about Paige. I mean, even what Austin said the first time he was on Watch What Happens Live, and Andy said something about her being with somebody else. All he said was, think there's someone else, and I think Craig has come to terms with it. That's all he said. And it turned out there was. So he wasn't fabricating anything. I mean, that's the worst thing any one of them has said about Paige, other than Patricia saying she didn't think Paige was very nice to him. I think Paige is very sarcastic.
Well, Paige is sarcastic. She is. That's who she is.
So when she says certain things, I think people can take it as her being mean. I think she's just trying to be funny. But
listen, when she said on the episode a couple weeks ago when she was leaving, this may be the last time you see me, like, that's just Paige being Paige.
Yes.
But like, that's really kind of what happened. I mean, I don't know if that was exactly the last time, but you know what I mean? That's where she was heading. And that's who she is. That's who she's always been. So when, she said to him, keep the ring, maybe she did say, but there's no way she would get married at BravoCon.
I totally agree with you. I think there's a chance she said it, but I think she was saying it in jest.
And I don't think that he was really reading the room, because if he was, when they were, just this past week, when they were upstairs in the bedroom and she's like, where's your phone? He's like, it's right here. She's like, all right, we'll lay down and look at it and scroll so that I can scroll next to you. They hadn't seen each other all day.
To be honest with you, I felt bad for him in that moment.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, she's like telling you, like, this is what she wants to do. She hadn't seen you all day.
And she still doesn't want to see you.
And she still doesn't want to see you. So, I mean.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I felt bad for him. And I was thinking, God, if I did that to Eric, he'd be like, fuck you.
And listen, I'll be honest with you. I kind of like what he did to Kyle, how he left him out there in the boat waiting for him.
I loved every second of that.
Right?
Every second of that.
I'm like, leave him sitting in that boat. Make him wait.
Yep. Let's see how long it takes him to have a temper tantrum.
Yes.
How about Jesse Solomon? Now,
I am so over Jesse Solomon.
It's amazing to me how he and West were up here, right? Last season, everybody loved them. And now they're both like, I mean, listen, the thing with West and Sierra, I guess we're all getting over it. I think all of the fans were very protective of Sierra after the whole Austin debacle. And West was clearly an asshole in that situation.
Yes.
But
If
Jesse
she dates
Solomon.
Jesse, if she dates him, I just saw something on Instagram. I'm hoping it was an April Fool's that they came out officially dating.
It has to be April Fool's.
It has to be, because if she cannot date anybody on Bravo ever again. Ever.
She can't. She just can't.
She is a queen, and she needs to get her king, because that is not what is on Bravo. She needs to get her king. And I mean, even Dolores is like, when she was recapping Summerhouse and Jesse and the 37 minutes and the sucking of the toes and Rule, I'm like, these guys they are frat boys. They are in their almost face. Like, grow
do
F
feel
up.
like Rule is getting a bad rap. Like, I think there's more to him.
Himself. He gave it to himself. Did you see him on Watch What Happens Live with Jesse?
Yeah, I did. It wasn't great.
No, it wasn't great. And like he said, he introduced himself as being like at an orgy. Like, that's how he introduced himself to all of us.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And every week he brings home one or two new girls that we never see. But we know what's happening.
So something more than a toe got sucked, I think, in that bedroom.
In 37 minutes? Of course it did. I mean, we are not stupid.
Right.
Of course. I mean.
And then he goes in his room and calls her, or did he call her first?
No, he called her before that, I think. I think it was
like
before
after flirting with Sierra all day.
Yes, definitely was after Sierra. It was definitely after Sierra.
And then calls her. I hope to God that she's not still talking to him.
I mean, she can talk to him as a friend. Like he said on Watch What Happens Live. Every woman in that house is smart and beautiful and would be a great catch. But he didn't say this, but none of them deserve any of those women in that house. Seriously, they don't.
It's just a shame that he came on so hard. He made her feel like every girl wants to feel, right? When you meet someone. And then as soon as she kind of gave in, they must have had sex. And now he's like...
Sierra?
No, I'm sorry,
Lexi. I don't know. He said no.
I know, but come on.
I don't know. I hope she didn't give... I hope she didn't. I hope she didn't either. I hope she did not.
But it's like as soon as she starts like reciprocating, he's like, whoa, I don't know if this is what I want. What are you talking about? The first night you were all over her shit.
I'm telling you, watching these, they're like children. And they're not, though. That's the thing.
No, I mean, Jesus, Lord Almighty. How old is Kyle? I swear I thought I heard he was
42 or 43. He's in his 40s.
He's
in his 40s.
He's in his 40s. Let's leave it at that.
He's in his 40s. The show has been on for 10 years. He's been on for 10 years. We have been watching him act a fool for 10 years.
Yeah.
There's got to come a point where it's like, enough is enough. Mm-hmm. Seriously, this needs to be like revamped.
It definitely does. You know who I wouldn't hate to see date is Sierra and Carl.
No.
Not even that, huh?
No.
All right.
No. And listen, Carl does tell her that he has feelings for her.
Is that who he's talking to?
Yeah.
I'm wondering, though, if he's telling her that he said it to somebody else. You think he's saying it to her?
I think he's saying it to her. No. She needs to stay away from Bravo people.
I hope his sober cafe does well, though. Soft cafe? What does he call it? Soft bar.
I hope it does well, too.
I really do. I mean, there's a whole sober movement, so.
I hope it does well. I would like to see Sierra with a doctor.
Yeah.
I would like to see her with an investment banker.
Yeah.
I would like to see her with someone who treats her like the queen that she is. I seriously
and you know what
would.
I honestly think about Sierra? I think she's great TV because she's such a genuinely nice person.
Yeah.
And she's gorgeous, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think that if she met someone and like really could start like a beautiful life together, she'd leave the show. Like, I think she'd leave Bravo and not think twice about it, where I don't think Paige would. I don't think Amanda would. And obviously none of those guys would.
It's interesting because you know what? This is exactly what Portia did. So Portia thought she met her king.
She did.
And she left everything.
She
left Bravo. She left her radio job. She left everything because she thought she found her king. So I would like to caution every female out
Sierra,
there.
maybe you shouldn't.
Don't lose yourself for any man.
She's got her modeling career too. And she's a freaking ICU nurse.
I know. That's a horrible job.
Talk about the whole package.
She really is that's a horrible job. Like,
I know.
You work
Especially in
so
the
hard.
city, the shit
You
must
work your
see.
butt off. You're so underpaid and overworked.
Yep.
Just really, I want only the best. And oh my God, her children are going to be gorgeous, right?
Yeah. Bravo struck gold when they found her.
They did. They really
really
did.
did.
So a little bit about Southern Charm. So I watched the reunion. We find out a little bit about JT. I mean, I did know this, but I didn't know the exact timeline. So after filming,
it's odd. The timeline's odd.
Yeah. After filming, JT reached out to Venita. She was away. And when she got back, he said, listen, I'm not with my girlfriend anymore. And the two of them started dating. They were going out to dinner every single night. And then all of a sudden, the super teaser drops on TV or online, and it shows Venita and JT. And JT's ex-girlfriend reaches out to Venita and starts DMing her and like going after her. So that's when Venita's like, wait a second, maybe I better like take a beat here and, slow this down.
So this girl basically thought that JT started dating Venita before filming ended and she was still with him.
Right.
But that is not what happened, according to JT and Venita.
Correct.
Got it.
Correct. But when you watch it on camera, it is very sus. I mean, it really, on JT's side. On JT's side, because he really was giving very mixed messages.
Absolutely.
And he's JT. Like, who does he think he is?
Venita, girl, you could do a lot better.
Yeah.
He's cute, but...
Right. I know. When Madison walks out, that's when everyone finds out that she's pregnant. I love that she saved that for the reunion to surprise them.
But wouldn't you think that Venita would have known? Like, they seem very close. I guess maybe they're just Bravo close.
I mean, Venita was literally crying. Like, she had tears in her eyes. She was
like,
so happy.
I totally believe that she was shocked.
No, she was shocked, and she was so happy for her.
Yeah. I mean, Madison's so tiny, though, so it was probably easy for her to hide it, obviously, the first 2 months. And maybe she, like, really popped at the end of her third month. Because she did say...
She was 4 months.
And she did say she was with Craig, and they weren't drinking together. And she was like, yeah, I wasn't really supporting you. I was just pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
But she said she did dry January, so that was smart.
Right.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised to see JT because we did see that he quit the show. And usually when you quit, you don't go to reunion. But
you get paid for the reunion, though.
Yeah. But I think really what wound up happening is really all he didn't do is he didn't go to the last party, but he talked to people, but he didn't do his confessionals, which, whatever,
So the way Cynthia and Crystal explained it was.
But you listen to them now?
Yeah. Yeah. I love them. Yes.
Don't you love them?
Thank you for suggesting them. Yeah.
I love them.
So they just explained that you film for like 3 months and you don't start doing your confessionals until like the last month. So you film for 2 months and then the producers start editing and then they know the questions to ask you. So maybe JT quit, stopped showing up to film after the second month when the confessionals would have started.
Right.
And maybe that's why he timed it that way.
Well, he did do some confessionals. He just didn't.
Okay.
He didn't do all of them. So he did do some confessionals.
Okay.
So Rodrigo got engaged and he'd been with Ryan, right? What's his 10 years?
Wait, no, Ryan's not
Ryan.
his fiance.
No, what's his name?
The other gentleman who was on. Ryan wasn't on the reunion, was he?
No, he wasn't. That was weird.
That was weird.
I'm trying to think.
Maybe they'll bring him out at some point to talk about the whole Barber situation.
Maybe.
I thought he was a new cast member. He was just like a friend of.
I guess so. Maybe he was just a friend of.
I don't know. He got a little messy at the end, Ryan.
He did. Well, anyway, Rodrigo got engaged after 10 years. Craig talks about how he's a nervous smiler because and remember I said that to you? You could see I
sent you that video, that clip of him, and I'm like, this is so fake. He's laughing
smiling
through the whole thing.
No, he's just nervous. That's what he does when he's nervous.
Yeah.
That's when we find out that Shep and
So he went on to do a live with Austin, and Austin could tell something was off, and he didn't tell him.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like he said, he didn't trust Austin.
Yeah, I mean, Austin definitely would have been on the phone with somebody telling them. And I think that Craig didn't want it out because Craig didn't think it was real.
Well, yeah. I mean, he didn't think it was real.
Not that he didn't think it was real, but he
didn't want to believe it was real.
That a week later, they were going to be back together.
Right.
Because in the past, that's what's happened.
So then they, when they're talking about Craig and Paige, they show the clip where he says that he wants to have a farm and kids, but you could see that Paige is not into the farm life. Like Paige,
first of all, she's never leaving her parents. You want to talk about an Italian American princess?
Well, that is her.
That is your picture right there.
She is
Daddy's going to take care of everything.
Yes.
Don't worry. I don't know if she has siblings. And if she does, I'm sure they're treated the same way.
I think she might have a brother. I think
she's not leaving that nest.
No, she's not. She's not. No. And she's always said that, like her father, like even when she talked about like she went to Italy with her family and Craig met them in Italy over the summer. And she's like, nobody like treats me like my dad. Like she's always said that. Like I remember her talking about like they were walking down the street in Italy and she saw something in the window that she wanted. And her father like went to the concierge and got it for her.
So don't you think that's part of the problem though?
Well, is it a problem?
Don't you think he's setting that expectation so high that no man is ever going to measure up?
I don't know. If I don't have any daughters, but if I had a daughter, that's what I would want for my daughter. I would want someone to treat her like a princess.
But I don't think she's ever going to let anybody because he's setting the bar so high. I don't know. I could be wrong. Listen, I don't have the means to do it for Tess. Sorry.
The guy that she's supposedly dating.
Well, that's true.
He has the means. And speaking of that, I don't know if it's true, but the Natalie Buffett, the girl that Craig is dating, he dated in 2019, who used to date the Dallas Cowboys quarterback.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Dak Prescott?
Yes. For 2 years.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yep. And what did he just
I haven't really looked into her at all.
Yeah, so I don't know, but they say it's Jimmy Buffett's daughter. Like, she's that Buffett. I don't know if that is true. I did not look into that, but she definitely did date Prescott. Yeah. So she's used to crazy money.
She sure is.
So, I don't know.
Listen, Kristen Cavallari was in Craig's DMs. He's no slouch.
No, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. What else? Steph showed up on his porch. Craig felt very supported by everyone, not just his cast, but even like the public was reaching out to Craig. Andy even said, this was the big thing that came out. Vanita texted Paige, "Love you." Yeah. Craig was not happy about that. And I don't
think they're speaking, right? He says she's not my friend. I'll watch what happens live.
Yeah, she's out of my life because she texted, but I don't think she knew the whole story.
I think that's a little harsh.
I do too. I don't think she knew the whole story.
Yeah, I mean, listen, all she did was send her a text. Like, she's not saying you're right or he's right or you're wrong or he's wrong. She just sent her a text supporting her. I'm hoping that maybe Craig will have some reflection. And
I hope so, because I watched a clip on social media of all the women from Southern Charm watching Craig say that about Vanita. They were all together watching it. It was Molly, Sally, Madison, Vanita, somebody else was there. And they were watching it live on Watch What Happens Live. And the look on Vanita's face and everyone else was like gasping.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah, that was on social media. But Andy brings up to Craig, like, listen, I mean, I was on CNN Bringing in the New Year with Anderson, and John Hamm brought it up that it was the end of an era. Like, what is it like having your breakup get that much attention?
That was wild.
And he said, like, but Craig, Paige loved it. She's like, this is awesome. And he's like, she's not the same person, which.
That's what I mean. That's what I was trying to say before.
I think she is. I think she is the same person. I just think he is seeing her differently now. Yeah. I think she's the same person.
You're probably right. This is what she wanted. She wanted fame.
Yes.
It doesn't mean she didn't love him. It doesn't mean that their time together wasn't meaningful to her. It just means that this is what she wanted, and this is her perspective of it. I do think it's pretty wild that she thought that was awesome that John, like, I take breakups even not my own, everybody else's. I'm an empath. So so for somebody to respond that way is a little startling.
I kind of agree with
there you go.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like everyone is different.
Everyone's different.
Everyone's different.
But he was also the one who got hurt.
Yes.
She's not hurt.
No, she's not hurt.
I'm sure she loved him, and I'm sure it was hurtful for her to have to end this, but she's not hurt.
No, I agree. I 100% agree. Like she did not take this lightly. You can see that she's heartbroken about having to tell him. She's afraid to break up with him, but
it's
in her
fucked
heart
up that she's talking about it on camera with her castmates and not him. I don't want to say he was blindsided because the rest of America is watching it unfold, but she should have told him off camera, like, this is what's going on, because it's fucked up. She's talking about it with everybody in her house on camera and not him.
Because I think, honestly, she was afraid to, because that's what she says. And even like I said to you, when she has that scene with him, when she asks him about the phone and they haven't seen each other all day, okay, lay down and scroll. Like, he doesn't even get it.
He doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it. Like that.
So she should have been very direct. Like, this is how I feel.
I mean,
making him lay down and scroll on his phone is not telling him that your feelings have changed.
I believe, this is what I believe happened. I believe that she was questioning it in the summer, right? She knew she had this big tour coming up. She was afraid that he was not going to take the separation well. She wasn't sure how it was going to play out. She had a lot of trepidation about it, and she was just talking it through with her girlfriends. And then once
on camera, though.
But, well, I mean, that's a reality show. Listen, if she didn't talk about it on camera, you'd be yelling at her for not giving us her real life, like you do with Kyle.
This I don't think I would. Honestly, this I don't think I would.
You would so. Yes, you would.
If she were being honest with him at the same time, fine.
I don't think she knew.
I feel bad for Craig. He's not watching it. He said on Watch What Happens Live, I won't watch it.
He's not watching it.
He's like, that's probably good.
I don't think she knew. I think she was in the spot where she's thinking, this may not work because we want two different things. Like, I really love this guy. I'm going to be going off. I'm going to be going on tour. I'm going to be away. We're not going to see each other. I don't know that this is going to work. I am very worried about this. I'm discussing this with my girlfriends, and I'm afraid. I'm afraid to talk to him about it. She even said that. I'm afraid to talk to him about it.
I think she should have been talking to him at the same time. Like, my beef with Kyle about it is clearly Kyle and Mo are talking about things off camera. Kyle and Mo know exactly what's going on with them right now. Whether it's they don't want to get divorced, they do want to get divorced, she's with Morgan, she's not with Morgan. Whatever's going on with Kyle and Mo, they're both well aware. Kyle not talking about it on camera is a problem because this is what's going on in your real life. But Paige, this was going on in your real life, but you're not even talking about it with him. You're talking about it with your friends on camera. And he's like, where's my girlfriend?
Because he's out talking with Kyle.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like, you can't win in either situation. I don't want to say I'm Team Paige, but I'm Team Paige and I'm Team Craig. I see both sides. Yeah. I see both sides. I totally see both sides. I see both sides. I see her wanting to have these conversations with her girlfriends, and she's expressing to them that she doesn't know how this is going to work out, but she doesn't think it's going to fare out well. She's not really ready to have this conversation with him yet because she doesn't think he can handle it.
I would just be so mortified if my partner was talking about our relationship on TV with other people and I had no idea.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No, I get it. Like I said, I see both sides.
Yeah.
Andy asks Taylor if she has any advice for Craig, and she says to delete all the videos and all the pictures in your phone. And Andy asks Taylor if she's deleted hers, and she's like, yeah, she doesn't have any. And Shep's like, well, I have some if you need them. She's like, I'm good. She is totally over Shep.
She's totally over Shep.
You could tell by this whole reunion, she's totally over Shep. She's fine that he's, I still think the Gaston thing is not going to last.
I don't think it's going to either, I don't like Taylor. I don't like her at all.
I know. Everyone that listens to us knows that you do not like Taylor.
Yeah, I don't. But I'm glad for her that Gaston came along because I think he got her over Shep.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah,
so
probably.
It's probably not going to last, and she'll be fine.
No, she definitely will.
He was there for a season where she needed him, and he served his purpose.
Yeah. Then they bring up the whole Madison and JT thing, and I'm glad that this was brought up at the reunion because once it was explained by JT and Madison, it made more sense.
Yes. Yeah.
So Madison was talking to her husband Brett, and she was talking about the Jamaica trip, and she was telling him what happened, but then she wasn't really sure what happened because she was really drunk at the time. So she's like, "Oh, I'm friends with. Let me call JT because he was there." So she FaceTimes JT with her husband, and they start asking JT all these questions like, well, who was there? What would happen? And JT is like, feels like he's on the spot. Like, what is happening? Like, I don't know what's going on. I totally understood that when it was explained this way.
Yeah, and probably Madison and her husband, when they called him, they were like under the influence, right? Like Brett and Madison were probably like.
I don't even know if they were or they weren't. I don't even think that's relevant. I think it's just the fact that the husband and wife FaceTimed JT and asked about a trip to Jamaica that had happened a couple months prior. And were asking like specific questions. And I imagine that JT and Madison and her husband had never FaceTimed before. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I would think that was something to worry about too.
Right.
And when he mentioned it to the other guys, he was just like, I just thought it was a little weird. And that's what he said. So he really values his friendship with Madison. She values it too. So I think that they really did squash that beef.
Yeah.
And
well, then they started. Well, it started to elevate again, but hopefully that's it.
I think it's done. And she was in the Dominican Republic. It's not even like she was sitting at home. So maybe she was drunk. Her and Brett were
I'm thinking her and Brett were like tipsy and they were like, oh.
Yeah.
You know, and JT was like, whoa.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's very possible because they were in the Dominican Republic. I know she had her baby. Do you have any idea what she named her baby?
I don't. I didn't even know she had the baby.
Oh, wait, didn't she have it?
I don't know.
Maybe she didn't.
I know she announced that she was having a girl.
Yeah, no, maybe she didn't. Yeah, she did announce. So the name, she said, is going to maybe have something to do with her father's name because her father had just passed and her father's name was Teddy. But then she also said...
She did say that.
But then she also said that she was going to have a boy immediately after. She plans on having a boy next. So she might save the Teddy name. So either way, I think it's great. I love that name, Teddy, for a girl or a boy.
Either way.
Right?
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Super happy for her.
Yeah. Leva says... So Leva jumps in about this whole Madison JT situation. And Craig was like going after JT and Leva was trying to kind of explain it. And she's like, this is why I don't go on these group trips. And Craig is like, this is the first I've heard. This is more than I've heard you speak the entire season. Like, listen.
He's not wrong.
There's a reason she left, right?
There's a reason she left.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't need to be going on those group trips.
No, she didn't.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't know that as much as I love Madison, I don't know that we need to see Madison on group trips anymore either.
Well, with a new baby, I would imagine she's probably not. She's fun though.
I know she is. I do. I love Madison. I definitely love her. I did think that Leva's boobs in the dress that she was wearing on the reunion were like popping out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why these women pick out these dresses.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I thought the same thing about Angela on Atlanta. Her boobs in her dress, they made it look like very droopy.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder why. I mean, she's obviously a stunning woman, but
yes,
like, don't these women look in the mirror before they leave the house? Like, I would be like, oh, shit, like we need to push those puppies up.
Yes. You got to bring the girls up. The girls need to be up, but not up that they're falling out the top.
Right. Not up to your chin.
No, not up to your chin. Exactly. Right. And by the way, I heard people say that they hated Vanita's dress. I actually loved Vanita's dress.
Oh, yeah, I thought Vanita looked super cute. I saw that too. People were saying stuff. But
not many people can pull off that dress, but Vanita can pull off that dress. I loved her dress.
And the thing is that, of course, the other women, they're going to dress like more traditionally, but that's Vanita's style. Like, she's a short dress girl. That's her style, and she's adorable in anything she wears.
Yes, I loved Vanita's dress. Then Shep, it was brought up about Sienna, how Shep had mentioned that she was the busiest 26-year-old in the Northern Hemisphere. They talked about
Sienna.
I know. They talked about how Shep has done a full 180 from BravoCon. He cut back on drinking. Austin and Craig agree he's much better, but Craig is really a little hesitant to kind of give him his flowers because he's like, yes, he's cut back, but he can fall back into that very quick. I agree with that. But what I don't agree with is the fact that Craig on camera was telling Austin that, he didn't want to be an addict and then yet he's still drinking.
I know.
So listen, I understand substance abuse. I get it, but you can't be half in and half out. Either you're sober or you're not. And it's that black and white with sobriety. It is.
You certainly shouldn't call yourself an addict, continue to drink, and then tell your friend that you're worried about him falling back.
Exactly.
Like, just self-reflect and worry about you.
Right.
I mean, of course he's going to be concerned about Shep. He's going to be concerned about his friend, but I don't know. It does seem a little hypocritical.
Yeah, I agree. And
I mean, because he threw the word addict out there.
He threw the word addict out
Yes.
there. And it's like,
people struggle every single day of their lives.
it's such a serious crisis in this country. Addiction is a serious crisis in this country. And these people have such a platform to really highlight it and do good. And when people like Craig say that they're an addict and then they are drinking, it's like, come on.
Yep.
You just can't do that. You just can't. It minimizes it for everybody else.
Right. Exactly.
So then they show a clip of Shep 10 years ago saying, I will not be in my mid 40s and hitting on a 20 something, which is exactly what he was doing.
Don't look now, Shep.
Yeah. And it's funny to see them like 10 years ago. They did
they're
not
so young.
age well. I'm sorry, but men do not age as well as women. They really
Look at their
do not.
lifestyle.
I know, right?
Yeah, I mean, Austin looks good. Austin hasn't been on since the beginning, though. Austin's younger than them.
Yeah, but
I do think Craig looks good. I'll be honest with you. I think Craig's aging well. Like, even with the lines on his face, he's becoming more distinguished looking. Shep's looking a little tired.
Yeah, a little haggard.
Whitney is looking a little scary.
Whitney's not looking good. No. Andy asked Shep about the text that he sent to Sienna and like, what were you thinking? And he said, well, I couldn't sleep. And he does think that he could be a romance novelist. Okay.
God.
No.
Cringy novelist.
Cringy. And you know what else was cringy? Molly sitting next to him saying that, and I like Molly, that it was a powerful thing for him to be so vulnerable.
I mean, I agree with her. I just think that text was way too much.
It was way too much.
Yeah.
It was way too much. He asked him if he's heard from Sienna or spoke to her, and he said, yeah, she texted her the other day. She texted him saying that he was sharing intimate details and that she didn't sign up for this. And everyone on the couch said, oh, yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did. He said he does still want to settle down. He's really looking for someone who doesn't really need him. So that means you're looking for someone that you can still live the life the way you live and will just be there when you show up.
Right.
I mean, that's what I'm hearing with that. I mean,
for sure.
Are you hearing something different?
I mean, unless he's talking about financially, like he wants to meet somebody who's financially stable so they're not looking at him for anything.
No, I didn't get that from him.
Yeah. I mean, coming off of her asking him to buy her a $10 million house. I mean, I'm sure she was kidding when she said that. Do you think she was serious when she asked him that?
No, I don't think she was serious. And,
she was either.
He even asked him, like, he kept comparing Taylor to Sienna, saying how independent Sienna was. And, she had her own modeling career and she was doing her own thing. And so you wanted someone who's completely independent. No, you want someone who will let you do your shenanigans. And when you show up, they're sitting there waiting for you. No, you've not grown up. You've not grown up.
He's a trust fund baby. I mean, it would take years of therapy for him to probably look at things a different way. He's never had to look at life a different way.
Right. I did think it was interesting that he doesn't have a black card.
Oh, did he say that?
Yes, because as back to Sienna, so she went to a like Fortune 500 thing and she had this business idea and she presented them to somebody, and one of the Broncos players, I think it was,
I believe that's what he said,
offered to fund her, and he's now on the practice squad because he knows the coach, and he has a black card and Shep only has a platinum card.
So what does that mean, he's on the practice squad? Why?
It means he's not on the roster.
Was he ever?
I don't know who it was. We didn't get a name.
Okay.
We didn't get a name.
I thought, like, the way Shep said it, I'm like, what, did he get, like, demoted, like, down?
I mean, probably. That's what it sounded like.
That's what it sounded like, right?
Yes,
but, like,
that's what
why?
it sounded like.
Because he tried to fund some.
No, you're not demoting anybody on an NFL team because they're funding. You're demoting them because they're not
good enough.
Yes, exactly.
Not good enough, but yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I couldn't figure out what Shep was trying to say there.
Yeah, I'm sure Whitney has a black card.
I'm sure.
I thought Shep did. I really thought Shep did.
Yeah, that's surprising. Well, he's not buying you a $10 million house then.
No. Okay, what else? I guess it just goes back into the JT and Benita thing. I think we talked about that enough.
Yeah.
About him doing the F-boy exorcism. And
now he needs one.
Yeah, no. Like,
how many parts is this reunion going to be? Because I feel like we touched on everything. What else are we going to talk about?
That's a good. I don't know, but there's another part. Yeah, there is another part.
Yeah, because
so
they
we're gonna
didn't say
find out
goodbye.
something. Yeah, there's another part. I don't know what's going to happen with Summerhouse. I'm curious to see what happens with Lindsay. I mean, we see a little bit about, she's going to the doctor's appointments with Danielle.
Yeah, I guess her boyfriend just doesn't want to film. Good for him.
Yes, and he is a doctor.
Yeah,
he
good
is
for
a
him.
doctor, and I'm so team. Let's put Lindsay on Real Housewives of New York with her doctor husband, and I don't even need to see him. I don't need to see him.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he wants anything to do with
and
any
that's
show.
fine. That's fine. We can have a housewife that we don't see their husband.
I don't think it's a Carl thing. I think he's all set. He good.
doesn't need to do that. No.
Right.
And honestly, I know you probably wouldn't be up for this, but I wouldn't even mind Paige on Real Housewives of New York.
I don't want she's not a housewife. I don't want Paige. I don't want Amanda. I don't.
No, I don't want Amanda.
No.
Because I would like Amanda if she's not with Kyle, to be quite honest with you. I would like independent Amanda, but I would not want her with Kyle. Because I don't want Kyle on Housewives.
No, I think Kyle's run his course. And I feel bad, but I feel like Amanda's like collateral damage. It's like, if you're going to stay with him, you've run your course too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to see Paige on there, though.
I know. Well, you don't like Paige.
It's not that I don't. I always did like her. I always did like her. I just feel like, is she just feeling herself too much? Like, I'm happy for her success. I'm very happy for Hannah, quite honestly, because I didn't love Hannah her last season on Summerhouse, but I also do think she got a raw deal. And I do think Kyle got her fired. I do.
Yeah. I mean, I love the Giggly Squad. I like listening to, sometimes they do giggle too much, to be quite honest with you. So I do, because that's what they do. They just, honestly, I don't think they even have, I don't think they have an outline when they go on the podcast together.
They just start talking and laughing.
I think they just start talking and laughing, which is fine. But after a while, I'm like, all right, I'm good. Let me move on to another one. Let me see what else is out there.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see about New York, but I'm a little bit worried that they haven't started filming yet.
They haven't done anything. I mean, they're not saying who's coming back, who's not coming back. They're not talking about Jersey still, which is driving me crazy. But I have a feeling that Jersey was just waiting for something to happen, and they are going to put cameras back up soon, especially with everything that is allegedly going on with Louis and Teresa. And now Gia's got her podcast, and she's saying a lot of things.
Have you listened to it? No. Oh, okay. I didn't think so. All right.
I mean, come on. It's probably
I didn't think
blocked
so.
on my phone. Apple was probably like, let's block this podcast for this bitch.
Okay. I may have to listen to it so I can report on it.
I just have read where she's saying things. I did read. Did Louis say that the reason they're bringing all these tax liens are coming at them is because of Margaret? Did Louis really say that?
I don't know if he did, but that's what everyone keeps saying. Like, how are you going to blame this on Margaret and Joe and Melissa? Because that's what he does. That's what they do. Everything is Margaret and Joe and Melissa's fault.
It's outrageous. It's outrageous.
It is outrageous.
But from what I read, Gia's on her podcast saying that everything's fine and Louis is the best stepfather ever.
Oh. Interesting. Yeah. Very interesting.
Whatever.
All right. I will listen. I'll get you the inside scoop.
Give me the Cliff Notes.
I'll take one for the team.
All right. Thank you. I'll try to return the favor.
Until next time. Bye.
Bye.